What's up, everyone? This is Midnight Strike 3625 coming at you from my living room right here because it's inconvenient for me to record this anywhere else. Everyone else is sleeping. It's currently 8 in the morning. I'm pretty surprised that I'm up myself, but hey, you know what? This is the only time I can get this out of the way. This is the only time I can record this, so I figured, why not? This is going to be my little spiel on Rockfest 2015. I know I haven't really said anything on here. I've only really said stuff about it on my personal Facebook and to my close friends, but I did go to Rockfest 2015, Cadott, Wisconsin, and it's like a half hour away from me, so figured, why am I not going to this, especially considering that Killswitch Engage was going to be there. So we only went for the day. Most people actually camp out for 4 days. I think that's what we're going to do next year if the lineup is promising. But you know what? I don't really care. I might just go there for the experience, which is what a lot of people do. Then again, like I said, if the lineup is crap, then you never know. Last year, Rob Zombie actually walked off stage after 2 songs because his voice crapped out. Which, I don't blame the guy. I mean, if his voice is pretty much shot, I mean, he doesn't want to give you a shit show, that's what he said. So, many people would probably think of that as an excuse, but I actually understand. So, if your voice is crap, you are not going to be the best performer you can be. So either way, people are going to bitch. But back to Rockfest 2015. They opened up at 2 o'clock with a band known as Vaudeville, and I gotta say, I've never heard any of their music before. Phenomenal singer, phenomenal vocalist. They got some great sounding guitars and drums and whatnot. Great tech crew, but I don't know. There's something wrong with the structures of the songs. They seem to kind of blend in together. Maybe it was the way they were playing them there, but maybe I'd have to listen to the studio versions. But there's something about vaudeville songs that just kind of seem a little bit disjointed and broken up for the structure of them. But I think that's something that they could iron out in future songs or future releases. You know, being together as a band for a couple of years. The next band that showed up is known as Islander. These guys kind of reminded me of a little bit of a heavy version, a really heavy version of Papa Roach. Kind of like Papa Roach's early material with some, you know, crazy antics and shenanigans upstage or on stage. I mean, the guitarist was wearing a fucking dress with a tail on it. So, you know, they were pretty crazy. Their songs were pretty decent. I didn't really get to listen to a lot of them because of some unrelated incident that I will get into a little bit later that kind of ruined the early Rockfest experience for me a little bit. Has nothing to do with the bands, that's the sad thing, but I will get into that a little bit later. So, with Islander, what I heard, I liked. The next band that came on was known as Nothing More, and I hadn't looked into these guys until about a day before we went to the actual festival, but they are phenomenal. I went there thinking I'm gonna get Nothing More. I'm gonna get their album. I'm gonna hold off on looking for it online or downloading it or anything like that because I want to own this album. I looked it up right beforehand, and they were amazing. They did not disappoint live. They sounded exactly like they did on their studio records, and they were probably some of the most genuine people you could ever meet, or at least that's what it seemed like on stage. I mean, they seemed genuinely happy to be there. A lot of bands will just fake it because they've been doing it for so long, but these guys, not these guys. Nothing More were phenomenal. You know, you don't need anything more except Killswitch, basically. But I will get onto that in a little bit. After this point, we kind of wandered around, you know, see what we could do, see what we could take pictures of, and, you know, just kind of enjoy the Rockfest experience. So I was with my girlfriend and my friend Andrew, or Chaotic Spider. I helped him set up a YouTube account before that never really kind of came to fruition, but hey, he uses it. So we kind of walked around. There was this like picture frame thing. It's a giant picture frame, like I would say maybe 10 feet tall, and it says like hashtag Rockfest. So we stood behind it, and I had Andrew take a picture of us, me and my girlfriend, and it was a pretty fun time. After this point, we went and met up with a bunch of people that I knew from work, actually, that were there. My ex-job, my old job at the grocery store. A bunch of people were there from that. There were a few people from when I went to high school with, so that was a little interesting. But I was talking with them, and a crew member, a red shirt as we call them, because they were wearing red Rockfest staff shirts, came up to us and said, "Do you want free pit passes for Finger 11?" Yes, sirree, we do. They cost like $40 at the gate for VIP, and he was giving them out for free. So, fuck yes, we want them. Even if it's not for Killswitch, we want to be in the pit, even though we knew for a fact that we wanted to get Killswitch for sure. So we grabbed the tickets up, and once it came time for Finger 11, we were about 5 feet away from the band. It was mind-blowing. Being that close to a multi-record selling band was just surreal. I didn't even know what to think. I was just standing there in awe. Even more so with Killswitch Engage, which was actually the next band after that. So, Finger 11, though, they were pretty good. I mean, I don't really know much from Finger 11. I didn't really know many of the songs. Now that I've heard them live, I'm going to have to look up the studio versions and, maybe get a CD or so. But they were pretty, they were pretty good. They were down to earth. They were really good at what they were doing. The sound was phenomenal. The singing was great. The crowd interaction with every band, actually. The crowd interaction with every band was really good. I think Shinedown nailed this the best with the crowd interaction. Shinedown and Killswitch. And nothing more. But Finger 11 was pretty good. Pretty good fourth spot. So they were really good. After this point, we were pretty much clamoring to get pit passes for Killswitch Engage. We're just like, this is the reason we came here, guys. We have to get it, even if we have to pay money to get it, which we thought we were going to have to do. But one of the guys that had met Andrew, or Chaotic Spider, had given him a free pit pass. So me and my girlfriend were left without one for a while. But right as we were leaving the pit for Finger 11, someone commented on his shirt, and we got to talking about the Trivium concert and whatnot, because he was wearing a shirt from last year's Trivium concert. So that was pretty good, pretty coincidental that would happen. And then I asked him, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we want to get pit passes for Killswitch Engage really badly. And he's like, well, I can get you pit passes, because, he was a really nice guy. He's like, how many do you need? I'm like, 2. But for some reason, maybe he didn't hear me, because he kept asking, how many do you need? How many do you need? It's like, we just need 2. Thank you so much. You're a lifesaver, But once we get there, my girlfriend and I and Chaotic follow him. Once we get there, I put my arm around my girlfriend, hold her hand, give her a kiss, and he's like, oh, you two are together? So I think the entire reason that we got the pit passes was because he was trying to get with my girlfriend. But, you know what? I love her. We have a kid together. We're going to be together probably for the rest of our lives, so I really don't care. We got to see Killswitch in the pit. Which brings me to the next band, Killswitch Engage. Now, this was where the entire time, the entire music blew me away. Killswitch Engage, Kill Live. Every single song sounded exactly 100% almost just like on their album, or better. They actually screamed during the performance of Always. That pretty much made the entire night. I mean, they played everything from Vita Infra to This Fire to Always, Beyond the Flames. They psyched us out with a couple of, this is going to be our last song, guys, Vita Infra, and then they played like 3 more. I mean, there was a time when I didn't think that they were going to play the end of Heartache, but that was their second last song. They made it sound like that was their encore, but oh, one more. Holy Diver. And for that song, it really seemed like they did not want it to end, because at the very end of the song, they kept going with a drum beat, with some cymbals, with the guitars, and just kind of tried to elongate it to the point where we're just like, are they going to lead into another song? No, they actually ended it, but it was great. I loved every second of it. I have never been that close to a band that I love, especially considering one of my favorite bands, if not my very favorite band. I mean, it was just a mind-blowing experience, especially considering that the lead vocalist, Jesse Leach, was giving out high fives, too, to pretty much everyone next to the walkway. Me and my girlfriend didn't get to him, but that was okay. Just, he got, up in our faces when he was singing The Arms of Sorrow, and it was just surreal. Like I said, for Finger 11, it was surreal. It was very crowded for the Killswitch Engage pit, and people kept trying to, push each other and mosh, but for some reason, Rockfest has a rule against moshing, so it was kind of disappointing. A bunch of people got thrown out of the Killswitch pit for trying to start a mosh, which was very disappointing, because that's like the one band that just made me want to push someone, I mean, I didn't think I would ever say that, but damn. I think if I was down in the pit for Trivium, I would have done the same thing, but as my girlfriend was pregnant at the time, I really couldn't afford to do that, but it was a fun time. The one thing that I will say about Shinedown's performance, which was the next band, I didn't get to see them in the pit, but I really didn't care. It was like $100 to get into the pit for that, 100 or $50 for a standard ticket, and I'm just like, fuck no. I'm not paying that much just to get a fucking pit pass for a band that I don't really listen to that often. I like Shinedown, they're really good, but no, we've spent way too much money, especially considering the Islander incident, or the incident that happened while Islander was playing. So, anyways, with Killswitch, it was awesome. With Shinedown, it was really good, except for the fact that there was a lot of technical issues with Shinedown's performance. The mics would keep cutting in and out, the drums would overshadow the vocals at times, other times the vocals would be louder. You could almost never hear the guitars, with the exception of a couple songs. Bully, Cut the Cord was absolutely perfect, by the way. I think it was the first time that it was played live since it was unveiled a couple weeks ago, so that was really, really awesome. As soon as they unveiled that song, I'm like, I'm hearing that live, and it's going to be the first time that they play it. If it's not the first time, then, oh well, I guess, whatever. But it was still phenomenal to hear it live. So there's those two, Bully, Cut the Cord, Sound of Madness, basically the really heavy ones. Fly from the Inside, you really couldn't hear the guitars, which was really disappointing. But with that, there was also technical issues with the Jumbotron, the monitor that we were looking at. It would cut out so you couldn't see the band for about a split second, and the lighting in the beginning, I don't know if this was planned, but I'm like, I can't see you guys. I don't know if this is a studio recording or if it's you guys singing, because the stage was completely black and they were still singing and playing their music, their first song, and then all of a sudden, about a minute in or 30 seconds in, the stage lights up and the Jumbotron comes on, or the monitor. I don't know if it's called a Jumbotron. I should just say a monitor, whatever. But, yeah, that comes on, and then they start playing. But like I said, a lot of technical issues, and there was a time when, during some of the older material, Fly from the Inside, 45, and mostly notably in Simple Man, where Brent Smith can't exactly hit the notes that he used to be able to. I don't say that because it's evident, I say that because it's completely obvious from the way he acts. Now, if he can't hit a note and it's in a specific quarantined spot, in the song, he'll give it to the crowd. It's obvious. Now, one of the main reasons why I wanted to see Simple Man live. Now, they did play Simple Man live. It sounded good, except for the fact that he doesn't seem to have the gravel in his voice anymore, the grit that really drew me in the first time when I heard that back in, I think, 2010, 2009, 2010, first time I heard that. Probably 09, I heard Simple Man for the first time, their cover, and they didn't have the grit. And right towards the midsection where he says, "All I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied," and he just holds that note out. I wanted to hear that so bad. He didn't do it. He gave it to the crowd because he could not do it. And I understand, if you want to go on a lower regimen, if you want to maybe, not sing it and elongate the note so long, but don't make it so obvious and give it to the crowd. It was kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, it was very disappointing. But when it comes to Shinedown's performance overall, I liked it. I thought it was really good. I didn't think it was the band's fault that the sound sucked for the most part, but I mean there were times when even Brent Smith's mic was cutting in and out. But overall, it wasn't their fault. I thought it was really good. My girlfriend, not so much. She doesn't really like Shinedown that much. She maybe likes 3 songs, and they're all like some of the softer ones. But other than that, I mean, she just said she wasn't really that into them. But that's okay. I don't blame her. We're all into different music. So, what was I gonna say? The issue I was gonna talk about in a little bit, with Shinedown. Actually, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. With Shinedown, they were probably the best at acknowledging the crowd, and they would maybe before songs they would talk to the crowd and ask how we were all doing, and they had the most enthusiasm and they had a lot of energy. Not the most energy, but they had a lot of energy when talking and confronting the crowd. So I really liked that. And they acknowledged everyone and pointed everyone in the back and the front and just everywhere in the pit. Killswitch pretty much did like the same thing. I think they asked Adam D to tone it down because he only made a couple dick jokes. And he still had his stage antics to a minor extent, but I do think that they told him to tone it down, especially watching other videos of them performing live and he's like all over the place. So, I'm not sure. It was a really fun time though, especially with Killswitch Engage, Nothing More, and Finger 11 was really good, and Shinedown. So, with Shinedown, like I said, they're really good at acknowledging the crowd. The issue during Islander's set that came up is that I was trying, before Islander even got on stage, I was trying to, go and buy something. Vaudeville had just got done playing. So I decided, okay, this is the perfect time to go to the artist merch store because, they just opened up and Vaudeville's done. We got about half hour to an hour before Islander comes on, so let's go check it out. So we do. The entire time, leading up to Rockfest, they were announcing these cashless wristbands. You use your wristband to come in, and it's basically, essentially, the ticket is the wristband. And all they do is scan it. It eliminates long lines. It was very convenient. But the thing is, they advertised cashless, where you can just scan the wristband and it's linked to your bank account and it'll just take it like a credit card or a debit card, because there's nowhere that accepts credit cards except ATMs and debit cards. So you'd think that was all well and good, except the only places that accept cashless are bars. They didn't say that, on the brochure. They made it sound like everywhere. You could do this anywhere you wanted. Nope. Bars. That's it. I mean, sure, we used it, but when I wanted to get the Nothing More CD that I wanted, I had cash for that, actually, so never mind. There was 2 of them. Nothing More and It was a self-titled, and I forget the other one. It's from '09, but I'll probably talk about it later on this channel. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to get a Killswitch t-shirt, which I did end up getting, but I went to the ATM, put in my, card and everything, typed in what I want. I wanted $40 out, and it didn't give it to me. It printed me the receipt saying it took it from my account, but right when it was supposed to dispense the cash, there was a cash dispense error. You've got to be fucking kidding me. So immediately I go to the VIP desk or whatever that's right next to the ATM. I'm like, you got to fix this ATM. It didn't give me my cash. I took a picture of the error, and they're like, oh, well, there's a 1-800 number on there. You can call that. So I call that. It says the servers are down, whatever the fuck that means. So I walk back in there. It says the servers are down. Oh, servers are down? Okay, well, here's the number for the tech. They keep pushing me around, giving me different phone numbers to call. Very unprofessional. Very unprofessional. So I call the tech. He says, or they told me, first of all, they told me he was on the grounds. So I call the tech. He tells me, oh, I'll be there in about 40 minutes. Really? 40 minutes. You're going to make me stand around a fucking ATM for 40 minutes and miss out on Rockfest because you're not on the grounds, because they lied to me. He's not on the grounds. He went and he's on the road and he's 40 minutes away. So you're going to make me stand here and miss it. Eventually he told me that he was going to call me when he got there. So we figured, okay, let's go back. Islander is already playing. We're missing Islander. So we go back to the stage, listen to a few Islander songs, but I can't even remember off the top of their head any of their songs, except for, basically what they sound like because of this incident. I was livid. I was pissed. I thought they were stealing money from me. I called my bank, and they said they couldn't do anything. I tried to dispute it. They told me that I would have to be at the branch or call the number on the back of my debit card. I'm holding an umbrella in the pouring rain at a music festival and my phone. You want me to get out my debit card? Are you kidding me? It ruined the entire experience in the beginning. If not for the later bands, I would have just left right there. I almost wanted to. I almost, dare I say fuck Killswitch. I'm gone. I am pissed. I mean, it's like a half hour away from my house. I just wanted to go home at that point. But, I'm glad I stayed. So, they still haven't given me my money. It made it a little bit nicer when my girlfriend said she would transfer $40 from her account over into mine, and maybe I could pay her back when I get paid, because I have a job now. Woohoo! I have a job. But it ruined the entire experience for the beginning parts, and I'm really sad that I didn't get to hear Islander and make form an opinion, because I can't tell you guys what I thought except for what they sounded like, because I don't remember. That wasn't an integral part of my experience, unfortunately, and I would have very much loved to hear the rest of their music. So I'm really glad that my girlfriend got their CD, their Islander CD. So I got 2 Nothing More CDs, a Killswitch Engage t-shirt, and my girlfriend got an Islander CD. Andrew got the 2 Nothing More CDs that I got. So we're pretty stoked. We're pretty happy. We're gonna listen to it on my way to her parents' house to pick up my daughter, which she stayed overnight there, so she's doing pretty well. Overall, it was a very fun experience. I would highly recommend it, but next time, if the lineup is good, we're probably just going to camp out for the 4 days. Maybe start saving up for it in, like, March or something. But yeah, we're going to camp out maybe next year, possibly, hopefully. And word to the wise, if you're going to this, bring your own alcohol. You obviously can't bring it in the concert area, but drink it at your campsite after the bands, because drinks are like $9, $9.50, almost 10. So while you can't bring your own alcohol into the actual concert area, just drink it at your campsite or whatever if you're camping out. Also, don't trust the ATMs. Bring at least $100 in cash. And I don't say that to be, facetious, is that the word? Facetious, or anything like that. I don't say that to just because of my experience. Actually, yeah, that's pretty much the entire reason I'm saying it, but you get my point. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I got a Disturbed review coming up, first in the discography. I'm thinking about maybe doing a Nothing More review. Not sure, but yeah, I'm gonna upload the Disturbed review right after this. Maybe in a couple hours. Give you guys time to watch this video and everything. But this is my Rockfest 2015 retrospect. As always, this is Midnight Strike 3625. Hope you have a good morning. Keep calm and rock on.